So today is a bit more of like an informal kind of video. You know, I don't have the mic set up. I literally, like, you know, we'll get into all that. But yeah, today's a bit more of like a chatty, really real video. I'm always real with you guys, but like, we're taking it to a new level today. Also, don't you like my new hairdo? Trying things out, you know. I may or may not be dyeing my hair red in the next couple of days. Who knows? But anyway, so you might be clicking on this and being like, who's this weird girl? Anyway, let's dive into this video. Before we do, stick to the end of the video because I have a challenge for you. Yes, you friend. And so you really want to see what that's all about. And yeah, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And I love connecting with you guys. So follow me on Instagram. It really, I just love chatting to you. Alright, so let's get into this video. Alright, so firstly, I filmed this video yesterday and I wasn't happy with it, with like how it came out. I think I wasn't as like real as I could be, you know, as open. I love who is it, Pastor Mike Todd. He always says he has a hot marriage, open honest, open, transparent, humble, open, honest, or / humble, open, and transparent. So a hot marriage. So we are going to have a hot conversation, a humble / honest, open, and transparent conversation. So I don't know, I feel like with lockdown you have either been on this side or this side. So you've either been uber productive or uber not productive, you know. And I think I've sort of fallen into both, right? And so real talk, as I'm sitting here filming this video, the space literally that I'm looking at right now is an absolute wreck. It's a big mess. I have to put my duvet cover on, and pillowcases on, which I haven't done for like 3 days. And I'm just kind of all over the place, you know. And to be honest, this week I was going to film like a doing one productive thing every single day video, which clearly didn't happen. And I think, you know, so often we live in this culture, it's like hustle, productive, which I make videos on productivity, but at the same time you have to give yourself grace, but also at the same time like you can't give yourself too much grace. So it's like finding that balance. But anyway, that's not what this video is talking about. So this video is talking about just honestly lockdown in general. And also, don't you love the two different backgrounds here? But honestly, this video is just talking about lockdown in general. And so I don't know, have you been super like productive or super not productive? I feel like I've been both. And so honestly, starting with lockdown, like I was like, yes, let's go do it, you know. Every day I wake up, I have a goal for myself, I'm doing this, you know. And I really was so productive, honestly, the first half of lockdown, so probably like the first 40 days or whatever. And then I hit a point, I like hit a high, you know, super content, which by the way, I'm still so content. I've never been this content in my life, and it is amazing. And I've reached the point, you know, when I started the Project Lumiere, this is the point I wanted to be at. If you don't know, the Project Lumiere is just me documenting my journey. Okay, that's a tangent. And that's why you always see my Instagram is at the Project Lumiere and my podcast is the Project Lumiere. Because Lumiere means light in French. Okay, that was a detour, but you know, this is probably the point that I thought of, and obviously it can get better and it can increase, and you know, it ebbs and flows and it differs. But I am just at a good space, but at the same time my actions haven't been so the right actions, you know. Like before lockdown I really had routines going on, you know. I really had like my routine set, my week was set, you know. And now that's kind of all gone, you know. And all these bad habits that I thought I had like finally dealt with, and like, you know, and like that I had really worked to overcome, I have now like crept back in, and it's, you know. And so the first 40 days of lockdown was so productive and so good, and like, so let's get this. And then the next, like the second half up till now, honestly haven't been that great, you know. Binge watching TV, binge watching series, and just going down that like path. I think for me, I've realized that I have to be cautious with the things that I watch, firstly because that's directly feeding your soul, and also, I don't know, I feel like people don't talk about like TV shows and like, is this a good TV show to watch as a Christian? Like, let's be real, you know. And so just navigating that, and also I get so attached to TV characters, and once I'm in, I'm all in, and so I want to watch like all 27 episodes in one day, you know. And that's sort of been like the trajectory. And honestly, not having your devotion and not having my devotion, and I feel like people are like, no, it's okay to like, you know, not have your devotion every day, which can I be real? I don't think it is. I think it's okay. It's not okay to not spend time with the Lord every day. Does that make sense? Like people are, I think that almost sometimes becomes a crutch. Like, oh, it's okay. I didn't have my devotion today, but I'll have it tomorrow. You know. But what is so important that you were doing that you? Does that make sense? But at the same time, like extending grace, and that's not. I'm not coming for you. I promise. I'm just like working through my thoughts, right? It's honestly just like using crutches, not actual crutches, but like, you know, being like, no, I'll have my devotion later. And another thing, I started this year off so strong, doing like having my devotion before going on my phone, and now let's be honest, that is just not there, you know. And so that has to do with the challenge that I will share with you at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But that's another thing, you know. And I think just yeah, and so I wanted this week, what I wanted to do was to film me doing one productive thing every single day to sort of like reset my life, because you know, last week's video, which I'll link either this side, honestly I don't know, I'll link in the cards, but last week or two videos ago was just talking about like having like a reset day, and how to be productive during quarantine, and so yeah, and so I was going to do that this week, but honestly I wasn't feeling it, and I think that's okay. I think this is such a time to rest, but I think at the same time you can't stay there, you know. Like I can't stay in that, like I'm not having a devotional, lying in bed all day watching series sort of space all day, you know. And I think it's important to sort of move out of that and to be real and be like, you know what, like this isn't an okay place to be, you know. I want to shift from here to here, you know. And so yeah, and so in the next video that I'm literally going to be filming just after this, then we're going to start. Okay, so now that we have addressed the fact that we haven't been doing anything, let's move forward, you know. And I think it's been weird as well because I'm not doing varsity, and so a lot of my friends are like have varsity and have exams, and I don't have exams. And now looking back, I'm like, okay, what have I done with this time, you know, when all my other friends were like studying, if that makes sense. So that, I think that sort of adds to that. I don't know if anyone else relates, honestly. I don't know if this video makes sense, but basically, anyway, to finish off my long ramble, I wanted to share, I saw this quote, and it said, are you becoming, or it was somewhere, I heard it somewhere, so it's somewhere, and it was like, and it said, are you becoming more like Jesus, like every day, you know. And I think the Lord like impressed it on my heart, and it really convicted me, because me lying in bed watching series all day, series that are not the best for me, that's not becoming more and more like Jesus, you know. I think when you stop growing and when you stop becoming more like Jesus, that's a dangerous place to be. And the scary reality is that if you're not becoming more like Jesus, then you're becoming more like the world, right? And isn't that such a scary thing, you know, because as a Christian we're called to be like little Christ, you know. That's literally what the word means. And so it's becoming more and more like Jesus and being molded in his characters. And of course we're not going to get it right all the time, like, you know. I think perfection is overrated. I think having it all together is overrated, but we strive for progress over perfection, right? And continual progress. And the scary thing is when you stop becoming more like Jesus, you start becoming more like the world, and that is not a place you want to be at, right? And I was so convicted of this, because like looking over the past couple of months, like I've grown so much, I've healed so much, but at the same time, am I still at this moment in time becoming more like Jesus, or am I regressing, you know? Because the thing is, like, if you're on a treadmill, if you're walking on a treadmill, right, or if you're running, if you stop moving, you're going to start going backwards and then fall off the treadmill, right? Like, that makes sense. You don't do that. And so with our relationship with Christ, even though sometimes we have to put it on the lowest speed, I've never been on a treadmill, so, you know, but like on the lowest speed, and even if it's a turtle's pace, but you keep moving forward, you keep moving forward, you keep moving forward, you know. there's this quote that, Lord, help me to differentiate between good and almost good, you know. And I think that's so true, because we know what's bad, like, you know what's bad. Sin, we know, right? And there's this beautiful quote, I'll put it on the screen right now, and it talks about sin, like what sin is. And I think I should do a whole video on it, but it's so beautiful. I know Far Away Distance did a video on this, but it's literally like so true, you know. And so I hope this quote inspires you, first of all. But you know, like, we know what bad is and we know what good is, but the tricky part is differentiating between good and almost good, you know, between God's plan and almost God's plan, between what God says and almost what God says, you know. Because like, my friend Bupe, love you girl, used this as an example in her video, and she said, you know, like, we have to know the word of God, because, for example, if you read, there's a verse that talks about money, right? And so if you are not in tune with the Lord and in tune with the word, you could say, like, money is evil. No, money is not evil. The love of money is evil, right? Or is not right. And so little things like that, you know, like, Lord, help me to differentiate between good and almost good, between what you have for me and what you almost have for me, you know, because only one of those is from the Lord. And so honestly, I just want to encourage you and ask you the question, are you becoming more like Jesus? And if your answer is no, becoming more like Jesus, and if your answer is no, then that means that you're becoming more like the world, and that's a scary place to be. And in the way you speak, in the way you act, in the way you react, in the way you respond, in what comes out of your mouth, because what is in your heart is out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? And so what's coming out of here is a direct reflection of what's in here, and that's such a scary thing, you know. It's just like, check your heart, you know, like, check your heart. And so that's what I just want to encourage you with today. Is that, are you becoming more like Jesus? And if your answer is no, then that's a scary place to be. And I have to just say, complete disclaimer, like, all these things that I say on my YouTube channel, first of all, are coming from my experience, but I am speaking to myself too. I literally all the content I put out is me speaking to myself as well, you know. This applies as much to you as it applies to me. And the worst thing is, oftentimes I'll do like a video on like forgiveness, and then a couple of days later someone will do something that hurts me, and then the Lord will remind me, so you remember what you said in that video about forgiveness, remember what you said in this video becoming more like the world and about spending time with me, like, and I'm like, really, Lord? I'm so convicted. But yeah, I hope this encouraged you, and stay tuned for the next video, which will be coming out on Monday, and that's really going to be talking about your goals and your dreams, and really simplifying that, and really working through that. So, okay, you've realized that I'm in a stump, that I'm not in the right place. Now that we have here, what is the next step that we take, you know, and just working through that. And so yeah, thanks for watching this video. And now for the challenge that you have been waiting for. This video is getting so long, but for the challenge that you have been waiting for. So starting Monday the something of June, Monday the 29th, I think, of June, I'll put it on the screen. But starting Monday, this coming Monday, I'm going to be doing a 7-day hashtag word before world challenge, and completely that hashtag is not my own. It's from Live Salted. Is it Live Salted or Well Watered Women? No, it's from Well Watered Women, I think. So that hashtag is not my own, but I will be hopping on my Instagram stories every day, sharing what I learned in the word, like which passage I was thinking through, and truly, like, but only after I've been through the word. And so really I've just not been in a good space with my phone, and like going on my phone before my devotion. And so every single day for 7 days, this is where it starts, friend, you know. Just digging into God's word before going on Instagram, before going on any social media, you know. And then obviously it's ironic because then I'll post on social media what I've been learning, and yeah, so please join me on that. That would be so much fun to see you guys doing it as well. And follow at the Project Lumiere, send me a DM, hit me up, so that we can actually work through this together, right? We gotta break those bad habits, we gotta nip them in the bud now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, friend. I truly truly appreciate you so much. I really, really do. And I appreciate your kind words, truly. Yeah, and so share this video, friend. We need to get more people into the community, and so share this video, subscribe to my channel. Yeah, and comment down below whether or not you'll be doing the 7-day word before world challenge. You know, like, let me know. I'm so excited. All right, friend, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.